I'm gonna record some content for you here.
Okay.
But Nikhil, welcome in. What do we got? April 15th. Hope you got your taxes in today. So while you were, hitting these shots here, we were recording. This is called OptiMotion. It allows me to measure 15 points and basically just create a big data model of your golf swing, right? And you're going to be being benchmarked against a database of over 200 tour players that we've measured, and it creates these numbers for me. And we're going to use these as we go through the swing to highlight, what you're doing well, what you're not doing well, and then kind of what order to start fixing this. We already kind of walked through that on the board, but look at it go. So we got a whole bunch of colors. So green is good, meaning you're very highly correlated to what we see tour players do. This is your starting position or dress position. 4 out of 6, not too shabby. As we go through this, we're going to see reds, blues, and yellows. Yellow, it's close in the neighborhood. It's a little higher, low. These are all in degrees of motion. Blues are higher than tour average, generally speaking, and red is going to indicate either a pretty much a slice number, if you will, okay, or a poor contact number. All right, this one just happens to be both. But let's go through these one by one. Let me explain what they are so we have a common language here. Okay, so tilt, a tilt in the body, in this case the shoulders. Hey, which way are you leaning? And you see the buttons on your shirt. Your right shoulder's lower. That makes sense because your right hand's lower on the grip, so your spine is sloping slightly away from the target. As you swing back, you're starting to look like you're choking yourself out here. Wrestling fan. But now your left shoulder's below your right, so this is left tilt. Now, it's not quite what a tour player does, so that's why it's low or yellow. All right. So tilt to be right and left. Turn for a right-handed player. If you're pointed left of target, we call that open. You swing back, now your shoulder's pointed right at target, call that closed. All right. And then bend, probably the easiest one to figure out. Are you bending forward from a vertical? So it's measuring that at 32 degrees. Whoop, right there, that angle. It's fine. And then we get to the follow through. We can see this really nice backward bend to your spine. All right, so that's good. So forward and backward on the bends.
That's crazy.
Right?
Gosh.
Now here's your saving grace. This is why you can break 100, shoot mid-90s most of the time.
Right.
Never gonna break 80 with that motion, but what's he doing now? Now he's continuing. Yeah, like I said, number 4 up there is always moving towards target, and that's what your belt buckle should be doing.
Got it.
This is your saving grace. Is you understand? Oh my God! Mentally, you're like, I got the ball's way up here. I gotta go get it. Yeah, awesome. That's really good. That's exactly what you should be doing. All right, you're now at 4 inches towards the target, but we gotta understand that's almost 9 inches of motion.
Right.
It's hard to time that up, right? So what we're gonna do is eliminate the sway and the backswing and get you into this position.
Okay.
But the other reason I want you to start with your lead arm straight, like this is kind of interesting. This is coming right back to where it started.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm too close to the ball.
Not necessarily. Your arms are too split apart.
I see.
Yeah,
his elbows are damn near touching.
Yeah, that's true. But you have the follow through is pretty good.
Okay.
Up to the finish, and we don't have a problem hitting the ball far enough when we hit it solidly.
Right.
We just don't hit it solidly enough.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, real quickly from the side view, we'll jump on this stuff. But the number 1 thing I wrote on the board is you got to imagine that this is a circular motion that's represented by the 2 diagonal lines. Right. Everybody's like, oh, swing on plane, swing on plane. Well, what does that mean? It means we would have to keep the club head and hands in between the 2 diagonal lines, right?
Got it.
That's what it means. Oh, shockingly, tour player keeping the club right in between. It's almost like I've seen this video before. Let's watch you.
Probably way lower.
Well, a little bit. That's not terrible.
Holy
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And then we get it up here to the top. Now, we have to keep in mind we're moving 5 inches towards this camera,
Sure.
right?
Right.
This dude's not. But your club face is fairly square. Arm positioning is pretty good. And then we get this nonsense. Oh, now,
Now it's way above.
well, but we're coming down. This club's coming through your clavicle here.
Right. Right.
Why? Because you have to move your hips so far. Your hips are blocking where your arm should come down.
Oh.
Now, if we don't sway and we shift towards the target earlier, then you're going to be able to do this, which is what this guy's doing, and
Literally
coming down
same down.
somewhere in between the middle of them.
Yeah, yeah. He's almost
Right?
on the exact same line too.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yep. And then down, and then this is what I'm talking about when I reference 7-to-1
Okay.
or the brick wall, right? The wall would be like this. You need to be following the brick wall and not hitting it.
And sorry, I'm not sure I understand that. Is that you're talking
Well,
about
if I had
the
to, yeah, if I said if I could take you out to the brick wall, but if I had the ball or if I could get you on an angle like this,
Mm-hmm.
but you look at where this club never comes down in between the diagonal lines.
I see.
So now I know by definition it's actually going out to in.
Okay.
At best it's straight, so 6 and 12.
Got it.
You're going more
Oh,
more
7-1 being the time. Okay.
being a clock, right?
Got it.
So now you're going slightly 5:30 to 11:30 kind of.
Sure.
But that's where all your right spin comes from. So when you connect, there's your slices.
Dang, that's crazy.
Right?
What the heck?
Whee! Okay.
He bends a little bit, right leg stays relatively straight, right?
Yeah, everybody's a little different on that, but yeah, the left knee is going to stay basically in place or go down, and the right leg's going to straighten to some extent. But the key feeling there is just trying to push your tailbone towards the target. And I'll show you a drill at the house for this, but we want to see it go that way. Or to use my analogy, that this is a
Freaking
a
wall.
taser, yeah, wall.
Yeah.
I like pain, I guess, but you know, since you don't, I don't know how you grew up in Round Rock, Texas, and
I
not
think
know
I
what
know
a
now
cattle
after
prod.
you said taser. I'm like, oh, the branding thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
The
gotcha.
electronic one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Don't get hit with one. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But any instrument of pain that you can think of that scares the heck out of you is right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And here's the first one. Probably don't even need to look at this, but
Yeah, that's insane.
dude, you're on the ground right now.
Holy shit, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And so the farther back you go, the worse it gets.
Right.
Well, now here we are at 0. Try and fix the ball position, the elbow position's better
Mhm.
too. But like I said, those are easy.
Sure.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
this is a lot of muscle memory I gotta delete. See how my hips move so far?
Yeah. So this is a little artificially, it's kind of overdone a little
Uh-huh.
bit, but it's still a lot better than this.
Right.
Right. And,
Right.
and over time, you won't. At least as I start drilling you won't be able to do that.
Right.
But there you are at the top of the swing,
Mm-hmm.
really good, basically the same amount, almost the exact same amount of motion.
That's so insane to me. Holy
Oh,
shit.
and by the way, now your spine is only bent 5 degrees back.
Freaking 30.
Yeah, 24, right?
24,
So it's a lot easier for you to come down now anyways, a lot easier on your back too.
Uh-huh.
So there's multiple benefits to this. And that 84 is a really good number up there. You don't need to go any farther back. But
Okay.
look at how much simpler that is.
Yeah, yeah.
How much more efficient that is.
Right.
All right, now all we gotta do is hit a ball from here.
All right.
Yeah, that one was a little wonky, but we got the right idea going.
Uh-huh.
So let's check this one out. Yeah, this one you were all over the map, but it's okay. It's totally different. So there we go. Like
Hips are moving.
artificially shoving your butt towards the target, right?
Right.
That's okay. And we're gonna move backwards here a little bit. Like I'm not sure I've swung it far enough back, but at least now we got this shape that we were talking about, where
Right.
your left hip is the closest body part to the target.
Right.
Okay. And then down. Gotta follow the stick. Not quite, but not bad.
It seems like my left arm bends on the way down too.
It does.
Yeah. Is
Swinging too hard at this point.
that- okay.
Hey, you're having to think about way too much at this point, but that's normal.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
But I'm not concerned about the arm yet.
Okay.
I'm more concerned about, hey, that's the first one you successfully actually hit a golf ball and your hips are moving in the correct direction.
Got it.
It's huge.
That's crazy.
That's why it's priority number 1, 2, 3, and 4
Yeah.
on the board. It just
Yeah.
sets everything else up. Okay, from the setup position, first thing I look at is where is the ball placed in your stance?
Way too far forward.
Way too far forward, right? So now if you were hitting a driver, that'd be perfect.
Gotcha.
All right, but we're trying to hit it off the ground, so ball placement should go underneath the left eye, left ear, edge of your hat, however you want to think about that.
Got it.
Leave your hands right there, having the grip end point towards the left pocket or the left belt loop. Perfect. Let's talk about the grip. It's 10-finger grip, basically.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. I don't really care if you join the pinky and the whatever, but I do want you to smush your hands closer together.
I see. Okay.
In other words, I should not be able to see your left thumb. Right?
Yeah, I will say I lost part of my pinky, so it might be compensating.
Yeah, well, that's
that
fine.
happened about 6-7 months ago.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, just get it.
Closer together.
Yeah, get it snug up there. All right, but the placement of your hands on the grip is okay. It's just I want them together. Idea would be make it work as one unit instead of having a little bit of space in here. And now our wrist has.
Tucking the thumb under this part of my palm, basically.
Yeah, take the right heel pad, get it over the top of the base of your thumb.
So I'm really not. This part's not even really touching the grip then.
No, it's gonna be on the thumb.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
So relatively minor change there. The other thing I would, before I go farther, but I would love to see you get the lead arm straighter. Like, let's get it up over the chest. I mean, you see how straight that is.
Yeah,
right?
I can tell that.
So he's got his elbows a little bit tighter, if you will.
Sure.
All right, squeeze them in there. All right, but here's the biggest dilemma, the biggest problem, and that stuff's all easy because it's just static. I mean, you change your position of your arm and your hands, right? But you got your toes out, you got a good width to your stance. All this is great.
Okay.
Now, I got 2 lines, right? And right now what we're going to talk about is center pivot, which I've got an unlimited number of X's written up there.
Okay.
2 ways to think about this. Either from a positive standpoint, as we rotate back from this view, either your left hip stays in a little green circle, that would be a positive statement, or absolutely zero motion outside what I like to call the red line of death. Okay? That would be the goal, to stay in between those spots, basically.
Got it.
All right, so here's Tour Dude.
This is not moving at all. Holy crap.
Yeah, he's rotating. I mean, he's not sliding side to side.
Right.
Let's watch this.
Way outside.
Oh my God.
Right hip is over there.
Dude, this is almost a record. It's not quite a record, but so we can see already he's moved 2.5 inches off of this ball.
Dang, that's crazy.
2.1 inches away. A stands for away, so that'd be to your right or camera left, right? Oh, let's get this dude up to the top. What side is he favoring?
Favoring his right.
His left.
Or sorry, his
left.
Yeah.
Camera right.
Camera right.
Yep. But wait, there's more. You keep going. This just gets worse, dude. Oh my God. Now. Yep. Now, this is asking for a lot of trouble. Number one, you dropped the low point. You talk about chunking it a ton. Well, you're more than likely gonna hit it here unless you do something dramatic.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because that's where you moved.
Right.
Tour average for this number at the top is 0.3 inches towards the target. So it's basically 0.
Yeah, he's positive.
You're 5 inches away at that point from average.
That's crazy.
He's going the other way.
I always, for whatever reason, learned to move my weight back.
Yeah, you're shifting your weight back. I don't have a problem with that. But when the hips move 4.6 inches away, I have a huge problem with that.
Got it.
And then here's another bad thing for just your health in general. Your spine is really not designed to be going one way and then bending Like your momentum's taking you to the right, and now you're bending back to the left with your upper half of your spine. You're bent backwards 24 degrees.
What?
That is
I was
really
trying to figure out
difficult.
what shoulder bent means. So that means my.
Your chest is now pointed to the sky 24 degrees. Right?
I
So you
see.
start in forward bend,
Okay.
and now you're pointed up to the sky. This is really going to mess with your angle of attack coming down.
Got it.
If we're going to change the path. So everything else measures pretty well at this point, but these are glaring issues.
Sure.